always pushing for Bob's return. And I want to thank the many members of the subcommittee who have co-sponsored this resolution. I'd also like to welcome Christine and Dan to our markup today. Last month, we received word that our government negotiated for the release of 4 Americans imprisoned in Iran. It was welcome news. These are Americans who were wrongfully held, and the move brought comfort to the families, corrected an injustice, and made very clear that the United States does not forget about its own people. Over the years, I've worked closely with Congressman Kildee, Congressman Huffman, and Congressman Labrador to continue to raise Bob's case as well as those of Amir Hekmati, Saeed Abedini, and Jason Rezaian. And I'm so pleased that each of their constituents has returned home to the United States to be with their family and their friends. Their nightmares are over. Unfortunately, this is not the case for the Levinsons. For Bob, now the longest-held civilian hostage in our history, and for his family, this nightmare continues. March 9th will mark 9 years since Bob disappeared on Iran's Kish Island. That's 9 years of birthdays with his 7 children, anniversaries with his wife Christine, weddings, the births of 3 of his 4 grandchildren, and many other important milestones that should have been joyous occasions for the Levinsons that should have been celebrated together as a family and should have created happy memories that one carries with them for their entire life. Today, it is an honor to have Bob's wife Christine and his eldest son Dan here. This is a family who for 9 years has never given up and has worked tirelessly to bring their husband and father home. Your family deserves to feel the same elation and relief as the families of those other Americans who were released, and rest assured we will not give up until Bob is returned. Bob dedicated his life to serving this country, spending 28 years with the FBI and earlier with the DEA. Bob loves this country dearly, and now this country must come through for Bob. There have been moments of optimism over the years. The Levinson family has received proof of life in the form of pictures and video. We know that throughout the course of nuclear negotiations with Iran, Secretary Kerry, Undersecretary Sherman, and others raised Bob's case at every single meeting. But that's not enough. Whatever information Iran has about Bob needs to be provided now so that Bob can be brought home. The resolution before us today calls on Iran to follow through on its repeated promises of assisting the United States in locating Bob. I'm proud to introduce this resolution with my colleague and good friend, Chairman Ross Layton, as well as our fellow Floridians, Congressman Diaz-Balart and Congressman Wasserman Schultz. The resolution recognizes that despite our many disagreements with Iran, our government and those of our partners and allies must continue to press Iran for information about Bob at every opportunity. Both President Obama and Secretary Kerry have repeatedly expressed their commitment to securing Bob's release. After the release of the other Americans, President Obama stated on national television that, and I quote, "Iran has agreed to deepen our coordination as we work to locate Robert Levinson, missing from Iran for more than 8 years. Even as we rejoice in the safe return for others, we will never forget about Bob. Each and every day, and especially today, our hearts are with the Levinson family. We will not rest until their family is whole again." And close quote. Today, Iran seeks to be part of the international community. But let us make no mistake, a country that sponsors terrorism, that threatens to wipe other countries off the map, and that holds innocent Americans hostage will not be welcomed into the community of responsible nations. For anyone who's watching this markup online, for anyone in the audience, I encourage you to tweet about Bob Levinson using the hashtag #WhatAboutBob. We've got to keep talking about this case. We've got to raise the level of awareness, and we must encourage our government and the governments of our allies and anyone who can be helpful to continue to work tirelessly to find Bob and to bring him home. Christine and Dan, please know that the United States Congress stands with you. We will not forget about Bob. I thank my colleagues for the support of this very important resolution today, and I yield back.
Thank you so much, Mr. Deutch. As always.